I have a Rwandan friend who lived through the genocide in Rwanda, and he taught me this word. He taught me the word gachacha. Say gachacha. Our next speaker reminds me of the word gachacha. And gachacha is the grass around the residences where people in the community come to listen and to talk so they don't hurt each other. Our next speaker embodies gachacha. He is also a balm in Gilead. He is also a person who loves the community. A person, when you first meet him, you feel that sense of reconciliation. Brother Anthony Smith earned his bachelor's degree from Northern Kentucky University. He served as the director of network organizing for the Network Center of Community Change in Louisville from 2008 to 2013. At this site, he brought churches, businesses, civic groups, and citizens together to address a wide variety of community challenges. Gachacha. He worked for the Louisville Urban League and for Jefferson County Public Schools. Under his leadership, the One Love Louisville, Be the One to Make a Difference campaign was developed. Gachacha. Making an all-hands-on-deck plan, calling on every one of us to take an active role to make Louisville safe, where all citizens feel secure, supported. Our director of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods, the one who embodies gachacha, says the following: we have an opportunity to positively impact people's lives in our community. I believe change is possible if you give young people a chance. They will succeed. My brother, my friend, and the one who knows how to truly live gachacha, Brother Anthony Smith.
So that was a powerful introduction, and I appreciate that. And then going behind Chief is always a blessing, because I don't know too many police chiefs who, and I got to meet a whole lot over the last little while, who cares deeply about the work that we're all trying to do, takes ownership when they mess up, but also is trying to say, well, this is what we're doing to make a difference. And I just think, we're in a place in Louisville where if we really want to be different, we can be different. We had Dr. Bell here last week from the from the Casey Family Programs, and he said Louisville would be different when Louisville has had enough, right? Louisville will be different when Louisville has had enough. And I'm in a place where I've had enough. So I don't know about you all. Because, we're losing folks. We're at about 55 homicides right now. We're at about 89 suicides, something like that, and about 82 overdose, right? And we're at not even in October. And if we've not had enough, I don't know when we will. We've had about 245 people shot this year, right? And if we're talking about gun violence prevention and safety, we also got to make our conversation so much bigger than the street violence. Of those 89 homicides, about 62 of them were done with gun violence, with a gun. So it's not just we got to get illegal guns off the street. We got to make sure that we're checking in on people who have legal guns, who are at a place where they can't go on anymore, right? So when the faith community comes together to put on these kind of events, this is who we need to really get into the communities and get into the places, because you guys live the walk every day. You know the walk, you know the story, you know what we're all here to do. I don't want to use most of my time to talk to you all, because we do have a young person who's with us today. Our young people have been really engaged in this work, and we are real clear that we can't make a difference and we can't make a change unless we have young people at the table talking to us day to day, helping us think about solutions, helping us think about ideas, and holding us accountable, right? Because as adults and as grown folks, we get way too much time in the front of the room. We get way too much time in planning the processes and putting things in place, and we never go to the folks that we're trying to work with. So for us, we created we created a youth implementation team, and we did an all call. We just put it out. We need young people between the ages of 13 and 24 who want to spend one Saturday a month with us for 3 hours, helping us think about solutions and ideas, and listening to us and say, what you all are proposing is not going to work. We need you to do it this way, right? So we want them to push back. They spend time with the mayor, they're going to spend time with the chief, and really talk about what they're doing. And a big part for us, one of the things I said to the mayor when we put this team together is, when it's time for budget, I would love for you to present your budget to this team before you go to Metro Council. Because when you talk about the money that we put out, young people should have a say-so in that, right? Because this is their future. This is the things that we're putting together. So before it even hits Metro Council, I'm asking the mayor to say to these young people, this is what I'm proposing for your tax dollars. This is what I want to see the city moving forward with. I want to know if I'm moving in the right direction. Mayor has agreed to that. So when you think about the work that we all do together, there's all of these different levels we do it on, right? There's the individual, there's the family, there's the community, there's the city, right? There's the grassroots, there's the policy. And when you think about policy, that includes budgets, right? So if we don't hold people accountable for their budgets and how they spend our money, then we're not doing all that we can do, right? So not just the mayor's budget, think about JCPS's budget, right? That's $1 billion budget. We have say-so in that. We elect the folks who make those decisions, right? So we got to make sure that we're holding people accountable on all levels. And you heard Chief say it real loud and clearly. We know we don't get everything right, but we're working hard to do the right things. We want folks to push back on us. We want folks to hold us accountable. But if people don't show up where we are, we're going to think we're doing the right things. If people don't say, hold on a minute, we're going to think we're doing the right things. This position for me was one that I could not pass up, because this is my city, this is my home. Born and raised in the Shawnee neighborhood, spent time out on Westport Road and Chamberlain. Live in East Louisville, lived in South Louisville. I know Louisville deeply, and I'm one of those kids that people have pushed away, high school dropout, but decided I wanted to get a college degree. Learned 16 years ago, I knew what my mission and my vision was, my purpose here is to help young black men and boys have better outcomes. Right? So I'm real clear about what my mission is and what my vision is, but I also know that I can't do that without working with community and families, because when we look at data, and across the country when we look at data, we know who's having the worst outcomes, right? So if we can't have that conversation as a community, if we can't talk about race, inequality, and equity, we need to go home and quit trying to act like we're gonna make a difference. Because we're really at a place where we can make things better, right? So we're at a place where we can make a difference. So I did say I wasn't gonna talk a lot, so excuse me for that. So Michael Smith, who's a part of the implementation team, when the Sawyers for Justice was putting this on, they said they wanted to do a youth conversation. I said, I got a youth team, and I think they'll be helpful in planning this. It was a little bit hard getting us all together. We did some emails, we did some calls, but they held an event last night with some of their peers, and they talked about solutions, they talked about issues, but they also talked about solutions, right? And one of the things we did last night, I know I did, is I just let them be. And whatever was going to happen in that space was going to happen because that's what they needed. And I'm a real believer in you create the space, put people in it, and whatever is going to take place is going to take place. Don't over-engineer anything, because once you do that, you never get to the true thing that you're trying to get out of. So we let them have that space. They invited speakers. We had somebody from St. Louis come and speak and talk to us about some of the stuff that they're dealing with. And they just talked about solutions, right? So we wanted Michael to come to you all today. They all couldn't be with you all today, but we did want youth representation to come and talk about what they got out of their conversation yesterday. So we got Michael Smith, senior at Shawnee Academy, at the Academy of Shawnee, right? The school that everybody talks about that's not a good school. Look who's there, right? We've got a senior who said, I'm gonna go plan and do some stuff, and I wanna be different, right? So let's not label all the kids because of what the school system, and I was so glad to hear Chief talk about systems. Right? This is not about individuals making the bad mistakes. This is about systems giving them no other opportunity at times, and we're not doing the work that we need to do. So with that, I'm gonna bring up Michael Smith, senior from the Shawnee Academy of Shawnee, who's a member of our youth implementation team. He's gonna talk to you about what they did last night, share some of their solutions, and then we'll be open for questions if we have time for that. But I just wanted to make sure you all hear from our young people. So come on up, Michael.
How's everybody doing? Good. Only yesterday I found out that I would be speaking here because a couple of people said they couldn't come. But Anthony mentioned having enough, and I don't know about the city as a whole, but I know I've had enough. A couple of friends of mine have been involved in gun violence, and it's not right, and we've got to do something about it. So the event last night was a way to really express those ideas and those feelings that we had, and get not only adult involvement, but also teenage involvement. So we had a couple of guest speakers come in, Devon Holt and Derek Smith. Derek Smith was actually from St. Louis. He was from the Ferguson area, and he came and shared his life stories. And then Devon Holt also shared some of his output and things about that. And then we also had a board where people wrote ideas down, and here I have those solutions. One solution was increased education. So basically saying that if we help with our education system, then we can maybe stop the violence that happens with guns, because people will have more opportunities to do different things. Community involvement. If we get more involved in every community, not just certain ones, better things are going to come. And another thing was eliminating the stigma against low-income families. People asking for help. If you know somebody that needs help, help them. Tell them that it's okay to ask for help, because it's not good to just stand there and let things happen. And another thing was health insurance. Gun violence strikes people with suicides too. And a lot of suicides come from mental health patients. And some of those patients can't get help because they can't afford the insurance for it. And then also political interest in poverty life. A lot of political activists aren't as involved as they should be, and I believe that if they did, you'd see a big turnaround. And that's all I have. So if there are any questions.